Welcome to our podcast. Today, we're diving into the fascinating intersection of Sanskrit and artificial intelligence. Let's get started.
That sounds intriguing. What's the connection between Sanskrit and AI?
So, here's the thing. In the past few decades, AI researchers have been working hard to create unambiguous representations of natural languages, right?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that ancient Sanskrit grammarians did something remarkably similar thousands of years ago.
Wait, you're saying Sanskrit was used like an artificial language?
Exactly. They, developed methods for paraphrasing Sanskrit in a way that's identical in essence and form to modern AI semantic nets.
No way.
It's like they were way ahead of their time.
That's incredible. How did they achieve that level of precision?
Well, Sanskrit grammarians analyzed sentences by breaking them down into fundamental components. They focused on semantic roles, or karakas, like agent, object, instrument, and so on. This allowed them to unambiguously represent sentences, much like how we use semantic nets in AI.
Can you give an example of how this works?
Sure. Take the sentence, John gave the ball to Mary. In a semantic net, we'd represent this with nodes and arcs indicating relationships like agent, object, and recipient.
Right.
Similarly, Sanskrit grammarians would break down the sentence using karakas to specify those same roles.
So they essentially mapped out the logical structure of sentences?
Exactly. And what's really fascinating is that they did this to facilitate clear and precise communication, eliminating ambiguity.
Yeah.
They were, in a sense, doing what AI researchers are striving for today.
That's mind-blowing. I had no idea Sanskrit was so advanced in that way.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. The article suggests that modern AI has been, reinventing the wheel to some extent.
Right.
We've been developing methods that Sanskrit scholars had already figured out millennia ago.
So, does that mean Sanskrit could be used as a programming language?
Well, in theory, yes. Its structure is so precise that it can serve as both a natural and an artificial language.
Interesting.
It's like a bridge between human language and machine language.
That's a bold claim. But, are there practical applications for this today?
Actually, there have been some studies exploring the use of Sanskrit for computational purposes, but it's not widespread yet.
I see.
The main takeaway is that understanding these ancient techniques can inform and perhaps improve modern AI approaches.
That's fascinating. So, what specific parallels did the article draw between Sanskrit analysis and semantic nets?
Great question. The article compares how both systems represent sentences in terms of relationships and actions. For instance, both use hierarchical structures to capture the meaning of sentences.
Okay.
They both aim to eliminate ambiguity by explicitly detailing the semantic relationships.
So, for example, they would both identify John as the agent and Mary as the recipient in that sentence we discussed?
Exactly. And both would represent the verb give in terms of its semantic roles and relationships.
Got it.
It's a detailed breakdown that makes the sentence's meaning clear and unambiguous.
That's really interesting. But isn't natural language inherently ambiguous?
Well, that's the beauty of it. The Sanskrit grammarians developed methods to overcome that ambiguity.
Yeah.
They created a way to express ideas precisely, which is exactly what we're trying to do in AI.
So, in a way, they were early pioneers of knowledge representation?
Absolutely. And it's amazing to think that this work was done over 1,000 years ago.
Indeed.
It shows that the quest for precise communication is a timeless pursuit.
It's incredible. But do you think modern AI researchers can actually learn from these ancient techniques?
I think so. By studying these methods, we might find new insights or perspectives that can enhance our current models.
That's a good point.
After all, sometimes looking to the past can inspire future innovations.
Definitely. It's like, uncovering a hidden treasure of knowledge.
Exactly. And it reminds us that knowledge can be cyclical, and advancements can come from unexpected places. It's a humbling thought.
But hold on. Even if Sanskrit is so precise, isn't it unrealistic to think we can use it directly in modern AI systems?
Well, that's a fair point. While it's not about adopting Sanskrit wholesale, it's about learning from its structural precision.
Right.
We can apply the underlying principles to improve our knowledge representation schemes.
I see what you're saying. So it's more about borrowing the concepts rather than the language itself.
Exactly. It's the ideas that matter and how they can inform our approaches today.
Got it.
It's an opportunity to enhance our models with time-tested methods.
You know, this makes me wonder what other ancient knowledge we're overlooking.
Haha, right? It's like we're rediscovering wisdom that's been there all along. It's both exciting
Exactly.
and a bit humbling.
So perhaps we should start learning Sanskrit.
Haha, maybe. Though I've heard it's quite a complex language.
Yeah,
But hey, if it helps us advance AI, it might be worth it.
true. So what's the key takeaway from all this?
I think the key is that natural language can be made precise and unambiguous, and that ancient languages like Sanskrit have already achieved that to an extent.
Right.
This can inspire us to refine our approaches in AI.
That's inspiring. It's amazing how interconnected knowledge can be across time and cultures.
Absolutely. It shows that the pursuit of understanding is a universal human endeavor.
Yeah.
And we can all contribute to it in our own ways.
Well, this has been a fascinating discussion. Thanks for shedding light on this topic.
My pleasure. It's been great exploring this subject with you.
Definitely.
Looking forward to our next conversation.
Same here. Until next time.